Hello and welcome to So Farscape,
a fun-filled Farscape fan cast by a fervent fan
and a fresh-faced first-timer.
I'm Kaki.
And I'm Kay, and this is the story So Farscape.
The story So Farscape saw our hero John Crichton, an American astronaut, shot through a wormhole into some distant part of the universe on a ship.
A living ship.
Yes.
Chased by a mad military commander.
Who we haven't seen anything of in a little while.
No, it's been quite a few episodes since he's made a appearance.
I mean, we've had some mad military commanders. We get another
heckin'
mad military commander this time.
He's not. I wouldn't call him heckin' mad. He's like pretty...
on the eyes, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's definitely pretty on the eyes, but I was going to say, he seems to be quite sensible for a commander, even by Peacekeeper standards.
True.
Yeah. But yes, on the ship with his compatriots, Royal Rygel...
the Royal Pain,
Royal Pain, yes. The Tentacles Dargo, the Luxon warrior with his... beautiful beard braids. Beard braids. Beard braids.
There we go.
Jeez, that's a tongue twister.
At least he doesn't have beads in his braid beards.
Oh, no, he doesn't. Although he has that weird little thing at the bottom of his chin tentacles, which I'm always wondering if it's like part of him or if it's just like one of those little ring thingies holding it together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a chastity belt for his chin tentacles.
I was going to say napkin holder. That was his way.
And of course the beautiful Zahn, which I really have to find a different way of describing her other than beautiful, but she is stunning.
She's serene. She's, I think she's motherly in a way.
Concerned,
but
yes. Although occasionally she has a bit of a rough side, which she occasionally shows. Of course, Erin, the Peacekeeper, who's also now thrown in her lot with the fugitives.
And altogether on the living ship Moya under the stewardship, because it's not exactly command of pilot.
And of course the new arrival, Chiana.
Chiana.
Yes. No, it's not. It's not like.
No, you're thinking of Cheney from Siege Tabr in
right. Yes,
in Dune.
that must be the one that's confusing me.
Yeah, because she's also got that fire. Yeah, I
liked her in this episode. She's like. The actress, is she like trained as a dancer or something? Do you know anything like that?
I'm pretty sure that yes.
Just the way she moves, the way she...
I know.
It's like she's like escaped from Cats, and it's just...
Yeah. Oh, she's really playing up the feline sort of aspect of her character. Always got these stances, climbing on things, knees bent, ready to pounce.
But also her outfit and like her hair is like fuzzy, and she's got like the fuzzy...
the fuzzy shoulder pads.
Yeah, the fuzzy shoulder pads. And like, she just put a tail on her, and she'd do very well in Cats as a Burmese or something.
What would her name be?
Geez.
Okay, no.
Oh, that's putting me on the spot.
No, it's actually impossible. Like I was going, it could be something fun like Bumble Teaser. Bumble Teaser is probably one, isn't it?
Rumple Teaser is the one.
Rumple Teaser. Yeah. See, yeah, okay.
So there's Bombolina and there's Rumple Teaser.
You can think of these crazy names, and then they turn out to actually have been in the
Cats,
poem on which the musical is based. The musical which does not have a plot. It is just a series of cats singing about how they're cats.
Yes, but it's based upon different short little poems about particular cats.
Jellicle ones.
Yes, they're rather small.
Okay, so this was revealed to me recently. Okay, the format of the podcast is completely changing. Jellicle apparently means dear little.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That is a sort of a bastardization of that.
Oh, okay. It seems cute. I mean, they're like cute little alley
dear
cats.
Little cats, yeah.
And, well, of course, not all of them. You've got the big one, Buster Jones. He's a 25-pounder, I believe he's described in the...
Would that be Dargo? Hey,
Ooh.
No, hang on. Podcast paused. Is everyone cats here? I mean,
that's an interesting one. No, I'd say Dargo is probably more like...
I'm thinking really fluffy.
Rum
I'm thinking
Tum
one of
Tugger?
those... Yes.
Yeah.
He's Rum Tum Tugger. Oh, my God, Erin.
Ooh.
I mean, she's a Siamese, right?
Ooh, probably. So that would... I think Bombolina is a Siamese.
Yeah.
So that could work. And then have John as Monkestrap. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean,
I'm feeling Mr. Mistopheles. I'm feeling that he's like the young kid on the block with a lot of potential.
Okay.
That people come to believe in.
Right, that makes sense.
And he'd look great in a little bow tie and he's super cute.
He would, yes.
A little insecure about it as well. Gosh, this is actually... Holy Farscape's cats.
Also traditionally the best dancer in the troupe, at least the best male dancer, because he's got his routine routine, which is quite a challenging.
Oh yeah, he has to do the 119 pirouettes.
Yes, that's the one. Don't see our what's the name of the actor?
Ben Browder.
Ben Browder.
Doing that.
I don't see Ben doing that, but
he does in my fan fiction.
Fair enough.
Oh, who's the prophetess in Cats? Because that would be Zan, right?
Yes. No, there's no real prophetess type.
Oh, she has the final song, and everyone is singing to her.
That's no. You're thinking of his.
It's Old Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy. I was thinking of, who was played by Judi Dench in the new Cats film, which I adored.
It was a cute film.
I know very few people
they
adored
kind
it.
of missed the mark a little bit here and there, but it's.
I was just sitting there in the cinema, the nearly empty cinema, next to you, happily wiggling, just thinking they made this whole movie just for me to enjoy.
But
okay, sorry.
Back to
out of the
Farscape.
wormhole.
Yes.
And back to. Well, one more. Rigel.
Rigel. What about Rigel? Oh, whom he is?
Yeah, he's a little cat too.
He would have to be.
He's one of the, what is it? Mungo Jerry and the other one.
Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser. Or I was more thinking he would be the.
They're sort of little scamps.
Can either have him be Growl Tiger or maybe.
He doesn't have the authority.
Growl Tiger.
He'd like to think so. So
he does.
Yeah.
Yes. And
maybe Gus.
Gus, yes.
The sort of
old, weak,
faded,
frail one, yes.
Nostalgic in my day.
Yeah.
When I was Dominar.
Yes. Before I was disposed.
Disposed. Okay. So, well, hopefully we haven't. Hopefully we have just triggered a whole wave of new fan art for Farscape.
So this is not a Cats podcast. This is a Farscape podcast.
Well, let's do our best and see how well we manage, because it's all I can think. I mean, we have already described Moya as a space cat who likes to lounge in sunbeams.
True. I mean, there's lots of sunbeams around in open space usually.
Yeah,
especially if you're near a star system. But yeah.
Okay. Whew. So, this week we are talking about episode 118.
A Bug's Life.
Yes.
In which special forces with Black Ghost Allure make Moya go viral. A host-hopping bug throws a wrench in Moya's first cosplay convention. Red leather, black leather, I can handle big.
Thank you again to everyone on Twitter who helped put together this completely incomprehensible but 100% correct synopsis. Yeah, this episode, it's fantastic. It's about a group of peacekeepers from a damaged Marauder who board Moya, and the crew pretends to be a peacekeeper prison vessel, like Moya originally was.
It starts off with a disconcerting scene.
Let's get the theme music.
Prepare for starburst!
Okay, now go.
Okay, so it starts off with a rather almost disconcerting scene in which Dargo is being chained up by Zahn, and he's clearly unhappy about it. He's he's been going on about, I will not be captured again in the past, and he is very reluctantly agreeing to be imprisoned again.
It broke my heart seeing him going through this. And of course, I mean, for Zahn as well, we don't even get to sympathize with her trauma because
she's the one who's carrying it for everybody else.
Exactly.
We also see the first time that Dargo's chest rings are in use, and so I'm wondering, were they put in place to keep him captive, and is he just keeping them, or is it something that was a Luxon thing and so that they just misappropriated for keeping him tied up?
They were inserted by the Peacekeepers to chain and enslave him.
Interesting that he kept them then, maybe as a mark of honor or a reminder,
a badge of survival.
Yes,
perhaps. And in this case, they're clipped back in. What an awful way to be restrained. By the way,
straight onto the skeleton.
Yeah.
Of course, Rygel's also having none of it, but kind of being pushed back into his cell as well by Zahn.
Who pulls his throne sled away from him.
Yes, no, you can't have your throne sled.
And he looks so unhappy and sad and frightened there. Really fantastic work. Also, good grip on him, because it takes Zahn a little bit to get his throne sled out from his little...
I'm not very practical.
I mean, he must weigh like 40 kilos or something. How dense
I mean, he's an aquatic creature, so
True.
you'd guess like a kilo per liter of Rygel.
But that goes for most like humanoids.
Exactly, as long as we're based on water. But we also see these shots of, I mean, a lot of stuff that hasn't been explained to us. We see a spacecraft approaching Moya, trailing blue vapor.
Yeah, it's a bit like the opening of Voyager, where they're kind of like zooming along and through the planetary dust or whatever it is. And we get Erin doing a Schwarzenegger stand-in for Commando, and she's like doing up the cheap plastic buckles of her uniform and like putting her guns and stuff away.
Brushing down her mission patch, mounting her, like it's fantastic. I thought it was so cool.
We've got the Marauder flying in, and even before it has shut down the Sebastians, the Peacekeepers are already jumping out and
they're rappelling down.
They're not even rappelling; cool. They're just jumping out. It's like wait for it to get low enough and just jump out of the hatch.
It's so hardcore.
It is. It's like you even have the open hatch while they're flying through the through Moya's cargo bay, I suppose it is.
And you immediately know these chaps are like they're the business.
They're on the ball, out the guns, and
it was a fortuitous coincidence because this is not the first time that Marauders have landed. That a Marauder craft has landed on Moya. Yeah, it happened at least once before in Exodus from Genesis. Yeah, that was episode 3 where they came aboard, where they were doing the little Pharaoh cosplay and they had the very bad makeup
the coal eyeliner.
So they wanted to do something there that they didn't have time for, which was to show people getting out of the Marauder.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do that this time, but they couldn't get the ramp built in time, so they had to film the scene. And so we'll put you on wires and jump down, and it's so much cooler.
It's a little bit CGI, but you can see them. But it looks good, especially after the shots are tucked in.
I love the CGI on this because you get to see the Marauder, which is still kind of it's a blocky craft. It's mostly in shadow. You don't see it very much. But when it comes to land, like it's got these side panels that slide out for its landing.
Big bright landing lights.
So cool. And out come these Peacekeepers with their guns drawn into
command, I suppose.
It's not the command. What's it called? We've got the hangar bay, and then you've got the maintenance bay outside the hangar bay. Yeah, that's where all the tools are that they never really put in like racks and boxes.
No, they just go flying about. I mean, especially last episode, they were like all over the place. Yeah. So I guess they put them all back on the tables instead of putting them away in their safe, secure racks.
When's Moya ever going to shake?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. They're Leviathans. They're very stable. But Erin is waiting for them with her big gun out.
Yeah.
And of course, the Peacekeepers are coming in, also guns out drawn, immediately with their standard attitude. It's like, you're going to do what we're saying. And it's, come on.
Are you questioning my orders?
I thought it's great. This is such a like a trope of, I guess, like law enforcement or members of the same military, like establishing who's in command of whom.
Who's your daddy? Come on, you know who your daddy is. Who's your daddy? Dargo, tell him who his daddy is.
I'm your daddy.
Who's in service of...
They immediately assume the privilege of we are the boss. They have no qualms about even entertaining any thoughts that they're not.
But Erin, she doesn't give an inch.
No, she starts off with going like name, rank, and assignment.
Rank and regiment now.
Larac, who turns out to be the captain of the commandos, he asks it back.
Identify yourself.
She does answer.
Yeah.
She gives that much. And then after she demands it back, and like they're big dogging each other. Larac says that the mission is none of her concern.
Larac, captain. And my assignment's none of your business.
They sort of insult each other a little bit. It's an awfully big ship for one little girl.
Yeah, and she's like, but she identifies
I can
herself.
Handle big.
She identifies herself as a lieutenant, and he goes like, I'm a captain. Of course, at this point, the door opens, and in strides John Crichton.
Oh, but did you think it was John? Okay, so the door opens, and you see these black boots, and everybody holding their breath, and this gorgeous black and red leather uniform.
No, I immediately thought it was John because that's the only one we haven't seen yet in this so far.
Oh, so I remember I wasn't even thinking. I was just so caught up in what's happened. Is this... See, the first time that I watched it, I thought maybe this was a flashback.
Oh, okay.
But that was completely incongruous because we'd already seen the scene with Dargo and Zan. I guess I wasn't paying very good attention.
But the commander, Lorak, Captain Lorak, flashes... Larak, sorry.
With a Q. Yeah, it's a funky name.
All right, so it's Larak. So it's like...
Yep.
He's the Lorak.
He's not the Lorax.
He doesn't speak for the trees.
Snorlax, exactly.
He flashes him some sort of Peacekeeper badge saying that, like, I'm on a red ultra something.
Yeah.
My team and I are on a priority Red 1 mission.
Very good. That's exactly what he said. Red Order something
and
ultra.
You are not like, I'm hereby commandeering this ship, basically.
And that's when we go to credits. But Crichton does a voice. He does a funny accent. He does he calls Aaron Lieutenant.
Ease your weapon, Lieutenant.
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah.
Now, why would he do this? Because it's all going to go through Babel bugs anyway.
Wait a minute, what are those mechanical things of yours injecting me right here?
Translator microbes. They colonize at the base of the brain. Allow us to understand each other.
That's interesting. Would they notice that he's like talking to Babel? Because he doesn't speak Sebation, which I presume that they are. Yeah.
So if it's being translated for them, why would it make a difference between Crichton's? I think it's been established that he's born in Memphis. Memphis, is that Florida? No, Tennessee.
No, Tennessee, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have a particularly strong Tennessean accent, but yeah, why would Babelbugs bother with? Oh, he's doing a pretend. Maybe it's formality.
Yeah, I mean that's the way. That's the way you say. You don't say lieutenant. I mean,
Captain Crace.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Melkor.
Lieutenant On.
Lieutenant Aaron's son.
that's how you do
well,
it.
You do in America.
Well, it depends.
It's just the British pronunciation for reasons that I do not understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a French word.
I was going to say, it's probably like the French, like you don't pronounce half the letters in the word and the other half you pronounce wrong.
Yes. No. I know your pet theory that the French should just evolve their language to cheat at Scrabble.
French Revolution type of thing?
Yeah, our heroes are under
I mean, guns are still out at this point. Everybody's still pointing their guns at each other. And I noticed they did a little bit of a modification to the DRDs. They upgraded them because
yes, we come back from the credits. We've all done the little at the end of the theme song,
as you have to do.
And Crichton's response is,
"Oh, I think not."
And the DRDs open fire.
Yeah, shoots the gun out of Captain Lorak's hand.
Crossfire everywhere, and then Crichton goes, "Okay, and now ask nicely."
Yes, of course. I mean, I'll help. You know, I'm a peacekeeper too, but yeah, just don't be a dick about it.
You need my help. I suggest you ask nicely, Captain.
Now we've seen them with guns before. We've seen like the first DRD that John met when he was in Farscape 1 and was just brought in with the docking web. Mm-hmm. That one had a little gun that it was pointing at him as well.
The one that set his spaceship on fire.
Yeah, I guess he did do that. Like, there's no other reason why I would have gone on fire. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But so they've never like weaponized the scuttlebot, the battle bots before.
Oh, yes,
which would have been come in handy a few times now. I think
so. Yeah, but maybe this is like a thing that they'll be doing further more in the future, and that the DRDs are more of a threat to any other people who are threatening Moya. And I guess it gives Pilot an inordinate amount of control and firepower because he basically controls the DRDs.
Hey, before we go any further, I want to make an agreement with you.
Okay.
Like, considering how we did last time and sort of got the plot wrong, or at least I did, and then I successfully convinced you of that, I would like to make an agreement with you and the audience at home, sort of a blanket amnesty for any fuck-ups that we make about the plot. If we don't get the order right, let's just be cool, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Are we going to be?
Yeah, we'll be fine. It's like this. There's a lot of things happening in this episode, and the order isn't always as important because, like, they're jumping back and forth between various characters. But as long as we get the general plot right, it should be okay.
Okay, thank you. So we have that agreement. It's the it probably needs some kind of name for the Treaty of Moya. That the order is okay as long as we get the fact right. Because what they're doing, our Moyans, very cleverly, like they detected that a Marauder out here in the uncharted territories was approaching them, believing them to be peacekeepers, and then they responded to that by pretending to be peacekeepers who were out here as well.
It turns out the Marauder has a, what was it, a cesium leak or
having some trouble with your Marauder, Captain.
Cesium fuel leak.
Yes, it's leaking cesium fuel. That's the sort of plume of blue that they were dragging behind them. And when Lorak just came aboard, he goes,
"We're lucky we found you."
And Aaron says,
You think?
Yeah, that was kind of cute. There's a lot of standoffishness in Peacekeeper.
Sparks are flying between them two, by the way.
Apparently, this thing that they need to transport to a secret Peacekeeper base, which is somewhere in the uncharted territories, much to the distress of John and Eren.
And Dargo and Zan, once they're clued in, they're like, okay, this is falling apart. This was supposed to be just like get them aboard, get them out of here, and move on. But John is actually kind of insistent. No, this is great. This is working. We have such an opportunity to gain some information.
Yeah, we can learn from them. We can backstab them. We can figure out what's going on. We can learn where they are, what they're doing, and then therefore how to avoid them better.
Yeah. Because they're 20 arms away from this base, and John suggests that we have to find out as much as possible because we're flying around blind, and we need to be armed with information, if not weapons, which Moya doesn't have.
So they unload this coffin-esque crate from their Marauder and bring it aboard Moya. And they're just about investigating what's inside it. They pop open the outside chest. There seems to be an inside chest as well.
Yep.
And just at that point, the one character we have not seen yet at this point, I was wrong earlier, is
very good.
Chiana shows up, and she's being very subservient, subservient.
A subserval. Okay, so she's a cat too.
Yeah. Well, we already established that.
She's got the long legs and the spotted ears.
Who comes bringing refreshments and towels or something like that, and does a little bit of her usual thing, immediately starts looking to steal things, makes a copy of the key that they use to open the crate.
So she watched them opening the crate and using this sort of hexagonal key that they've gotten where they clipped it. She makes sure to bump into someone and gets an impression of the key
in a food cube or something.
Brilliant. It's so fantastic. I also really liked in this scene how quickly the other three Peacekeeper commandos, aside from Larak, are sort of established. So we've got Thorn, who's the one with the shaved head.
Yeah, the horny one. I'd call him a Bruce Willis wannabe.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. He's all over Chiana. He asks. He assumes that she's been enslaved and was purchased.
Yeah, and they've been...
and can I get a some of you?
That bootshine captain got a non-reg server like you aboard. Guess he's not a bigger nerfer as I thought he was. What did he pay for you, sweetheart?
Not much, I'm sure.
Because apparently they've been out there for almost a full cycle on this assignment.
Yeah, with only each other for company.
Yes, apparently he's blue-balled a little bit here.
Well, she's clearly leading Dargo around by his mivonks.
Hard to imagine how when you're on a ship with Captain Larak.
Well, he might not be amenable to that kind of interaction. I don't know.
Fair.
Fraternizing with the subordinates, you know.
True. Keep it in your tight leather pants. We've got a woman whom they call Doc, who seems to be of higher status than the other two.
Well, if she's a medic, then
she's Hassan, and she's the one who does the checking of the whatever this crate is. And then you have, he's called Red, but he has the little sort of leather flight helmet. So I was just thinking Baldrick.
Oh, Baldrick.
He's the clumsy one. He drops the thing. He's always skulking in the background. He doesn't get that much to do.
No, he dies fairly early on, I believe.
Also,
one of the first ones to go.
So there's food in the center chamber, which is what Chiana came to tell them, and that's where we go. And now we see. Did you notice what they were doing? How to get this food? Did you pay attention?
They put the food cubes in the machine, and then it comes out looking.
They close the lid, and then they open the lid, and then there's a whole meal there.
Looks like actual food. Yes,
it's sort of like in.
It's like the rehydrator from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, I was going for the microwave in The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah,
where Lilu puts in like a pill and they got.
Can. Good.
Chicken. Good.
Yeah.
Bing.
Chicken good.
Then a whole roast chicken comes out. Have they just been using all this food wrong? Have they just been nibbling these rations without like rehydrating them?
Surely they must have known about that. It's like, it'll still have the same calorie content, I suppose, but it's just like not that pleasant. It's like chewing raw spaghetti.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
It's like, you're supposed to boil it?
Reminded recently. Someone on Reddit gave a review that hard-boiled eggs are disgusting. It's all like this crunchy and soft, and like he just didn't know that you're supposed to peel it.
You're supposed to take it out of the shell.
And just imagine biting into an unpeeled egg.
Oh yes.
So
No,
maybe
thank
that's
you.
what they've been doing this whole time. So hey, this interrogation, which is kind of what it is, because Erin's there to pump them for information, is already fruitful. She starts off being surprised at how casual the crew are with each other. Larac, the captain, walks into the room and nobody salutes.
And he basically says, I trust them. We've been working together for so long. I don't care if they stand up when I enter the room or not.
I respect them too much for that.
Yeah.
Like it's a very different kind of command and command attitude than she's used to, I guess, under
I
Grace.
suppose it's very casual. And I mean, it makes sense if you're on like if you're on a special forces team, which turns out these people are. They're not like regular military, they're the special forces.
You've never interfaced with special ops before?
Heard of you? Everyone at regiment level has.
Oh, yes. What is it that you call us?
Black ghosts.
Is that supposed to be an insult? Because, I kind of like it.
Insult, definitely.
Yes, which at the same time have like almost mythical status and are kind of looked down on by infantry like Eren.
Yes, because they're like
ill-kept uniform.
Yes, very much not
undisciplined
to code and standard. Yeah,
but Larac is he's not to be swayed by this. He goes, and just to think, now you're going to have dinner with one.
Actually, I did see one of your type once. I was on a transfer barge. I was changing troop ships, and I only saw him for a couple of microts, but I recognized the unkempt uniform and the undisciplined
Must
attitude.
have really offended you. And just think, how are you going to sit down and eat with one?
Oh,
because he's made 2 plates of food and they're going to share it together.
Yeah, he's such a smooth. Well, I wouldn't call him smooth, but he's kind of like charming in an annoying way.
Really charismatic is how I'd say.
Like a bit of a charismatic dick.
I love their uniforms. Did you notice, by the way, so the uniforms that John and Eren are wearing, which they found on Moya, and that's why John gets to be the captain, because the captain's uniform fits him.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess they didn't have time to tailor it.
Towards the end of the episode, Eren makes a bit of a remark about that. Like, you're lucky
that it's a grave misfortune that it didn't fit me.
Yes.
But their uniforms, they're black and red, and the red is bright red.
Oh, yes, very much. And the uniforms from the special ops are much more burgundy, muted red.
So I wonder if they started out just as red and have just faded.
Could be. I mean, if they have been on the assignment for a year and they haven't had like proper uniform cleaning equipment.
And sitting next to a leaky cesium fuel reactor, the radiation might have degraded.
What color is cesium again? It's like cesium flame.
Well, it looks blue in this one.
But you never know.
The conversation is quite fruitful. They get on very well, and there's strong chemistry between Larac and Eren. And
a little bit, yeah.
What must that be like for her?
I don't know. She seems like annoyed most of the time by him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, I'm the hotshot."
But she likes that. I mean, that's like she likes Crichton as well, and it's got to be because she likes like the cocky swagger. She likes someone who gets her hackles up.
Meanwhile, Zahn is releasing Dargo from his chains, and they're having a little bit of a discussion. And Dargo immediately goes like, "Okay, they're on board now. Now we can take them out, and we can." Capture them and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, this is where John reaffirms like we have so much more to learn from them. John thinks it's working, the other ones don't. John convinces them. Yep. And Zahn says now we have to get Rygel in harmony with this, but Rygel is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Rygel is knocked off, and just as Zahn retreats back to her cell, one of the Peacekeepers shows up. Dargo and Crichton stage a little bit of a fight. The Peacekeeper helps him by knocking... John basically punches Dargo and manages to get him knocked back into the cell, doesn't he?
I read it the other way around. So John was in there to try and chain Dargo back up, which Dargo refused.
Yes.
Dargo, come on.
His trauma is too severe and he can't tolerate it. But when the other Peacekeeper, I think that's Thorne, Bruce Willis, as you say, comes in. I think it's Dargo who attacks. To give Crichton plausible deniability.
Right, but he gets knocked back into his cell door gets closed.
Thorne is kind of cocky, hey, lucky I came along.
Yes.
And Crichton plays the full Peacekeeper, like the only Peacekeeper commander he knows is Crace, so he responds,
if you ever lay hands on me again, I will have you up on charges.
The next time you touch me, I'll fucking kill you.
Yes.
Wow!
It's like, no thank you, no acknowledgement, just like, fuck you.
I wonder. Oh yeah. So okay.
Sorry,
so I'm gonna.
you.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Don't worry.
You.
I've got a lot of notes to self. Do good editing and earn that PG-13 rating. I wonder how typical Crace is versus Lerac in terms of their command style.
Well, he's insane military commander, but we don't know how insane by Peacekeeper standards.
Yeah,
most of them might just be fairly reasonable. There's just like bad apples among them.
Loaded phrase there.
Yeah.
I was trying to go for something relating to apples, but no. Back in the center chamber, we still have Aaron and Lerac, and they both sort of got their.
This is where it gets a little bit flirty.
Head propped up with their fist under their chin, sort of gazing into each other's eyes. Everybody on the ship is doing jobs, but they're still just chatting. And she's telling Lerac and us something about her youth, her first experience flying scrub runners when she was 14.
Right. Well, apparently she grew up on a Peacekeeper ship, but she started flying very early, and then she upgraded to a different ship. And he asked her, why did that only happen when you were 16? So I wasn't tall enough.
My feet didn't reach the pedals.
Yeah. So apparently, like, Peacekeeper infantry learned to fly prowlers, their F-16s, before they're 16.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You don't know how fast they age.
True.
They might be mature by 12, I don't know. Apparently not done growing yet, but... and of course they want to get them started early, as a good military doctrine is, like the Spartans and the other people from old age.
Yeah. Sort of like the Agogi. She notices a special gun that Lerac has. He has a big white gun.
Yes, the
stasis
gun. That's what he calls it. Yes,
because they're on a retrieval mission, and the stasis gun is for capture, not killing. So we're starting to get a picture of what they were out there to do for over a year. They were hunting something down that they've now caught in that cage.
Coffin type thing. So yes, probably there's some sort of person in there. At least that's what I was starting to think at this point.
Very good. I mean, it's the right size for it.
Of course, Chiana wants to know what it is that is in there, and she's forging the key, makes her way back to the cargo bay where it is.
With a little help from a DRD. It's the DRD that's helping. Yes. I like sort of how they get on with each other.
Oh, what's your brain coming? Easy for you to say.
Oh, that was she in the scuttlebot?
Her in the little scuttlebot. Like, she talks to it, and it gives a little attitude back. I mean, those are also little cats.
Of course, when she gets to the big box, Rygel is already on it.
Yes. She accuses him of having the same idea. Oh, yes, he says, don't sneak up on me like that. I should put a little bell around your neck.
Cats again. They have a little argument about how to divide the loot.
Yes, why? She suggests splitting it half-seas in the interest of not being discovered. And she goes, I was here first. I have the key.
Okay, half.
It's one of the faster negotiations where Rygel's concerned.
True. I mean, he sees that he's arguing from a point of weakness, and so if you can get 50% at that point, it's a win as far as he's concerned, I would suppose.
Unfortunately, the prize is not so easily divided. They open this case, steam comes out, it looks like a sort of cryogenic scenario, and inside is a weird alien rubber chicken.
Looks a bit like that little alien critter from Men in Black, you know, the one that's like riding in
the one alien from Men in Black.
The one in the human bodies, the one has the human bodysuit.
Oh yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, they've got the big eyes, the sort of
except that one was greyish and this one is yellowish.
Wrinkly, rubbery skin. Yeah. I mean, this is a weird one. It looks like it's made from like translucent material.
It looks like they raided the fish market and like ended up with a few weak dead octopi.
with lights on the inside.
Yeah,
they detect it as a life form, but not one they recognize. It appears to still be alive, but they're soon interrupted by the arrival of two of the commandos.
Yes,
Thorn and Baldrick.
Chiana touches the alien.
Yes,
and this is where things start moving along.
Actually, that's a fake out. Yeah. Right. Because this is why we have the Treaty of Moya, where we can say things in the wrong order, and it's totally fine. Because it's Bruce Willis and Baldrick arrive. Yes. Bruce Willis touches it and suddenly turns on Baldrick, shoots him through the chest, then goes looking for Rygel and Chiana. Rygel has scarpered.
Yeah, they're both hiding somewhere behind the set pieces.
And he corners Chiana and approaches her, and he does this. He sticks out his tongue to give her that horrible tonguey kiss.
Right, because he's still got the horns for her, apparently, or at least he's playing it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more. Is there more shooting?
There was one shot was enough to bring everyone running. So I've got Hassan and Larak with 2 guns. He looks so great in his leather flight suit, and Eren as well. They approach to find the shot that they were alerted to by Pilot.
Meanwhile, Bruce Willis chokes the alien to death.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
It seemed like a perfectly helpless thing.
Not quite sure what the point of that was, but yeah.
Oh, I've got it. Okay, so now we have to talk about what's happening.
Yes.
Because this is what's happening is a host hopping intelligent virus.
Yes, which can apparently in this stage can only infect a single person.
Yeah.
So it's like basically.
There is no metaphor that we can use that's accurate because that's not how viruses work.
It's a bit like Osmosis Jones, where there's only one virus cell, which is apparently intelligent on its own and moving about. And I noticed this as well, because later on in the episode, they start doing the whole basically licking a finger and then using that to transfer to another host. But like, if you can only do a single infection, then how are you still infecting this one? I guess you can control them when you're still on their thumb, and then you get rubbed off onto someone else, and then suddenly they have full control over them.
Or it's just it's just a conductor. That you've got to make skin-to-skin contact, because that's how it's transmitted, skin-to-skin.
And then there's like some sort of electrical virus transfer, and it's like But apparently the virus can infect a single host, but then it will look for a quiet spot to spread its spores.
Yes, because it needs to incubate in a single host for an hour, and then it can send out 1 million spores. Why haven't these things conquered the universe already?
Yes.
How could it be possible?
Maybe they've a lot of infighting. I don't know.
Oh no. That's a horrible thought, that the only reason that we haven't been completely obliterated because everybody's too busy fighting themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the scenario. I mean, there's sort of like the Thing levels of paranoia going on. Because nobody's sure who it's in. Oh, but yes, this is why I wanted to talk about that as an intelligent virus. Yes, when Thorne, Bruce Willis, is infected, he goes and he kills this little alien creature that they trapped it in, because we learn later on the virus cannot reinfect a host that it's left.
Yes,
and so it's in the virus's interest to kill any uninfectable host, to not have any.
That makes sense, because it's like
those are only enemies.
Yeah, they're only competition.
Yeah, and it can't benefit from having them around.
Right. After doing the creepy ass licky thing, and Chiana is now carrying the host, she immediately starts spinning a tail and pinning it on Rygel, being the infected
who has
one.
Scarpered. Yes. I mean, we can see how intelligent this intelligent virus is.
Thorne has no idea what happened. He's a little bit confused. So he they ask him, is that what happened? And he goes like,
is that what happened?
That could have happened.
Where did this Rygel go?
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Like, Thorne is a lunkhead, but he is honest, and he tries to...
he tries to be a good soldier about it.
Yeah.
And we get the search for Rygel.
Yes. Splitting up, hunting down...
Crichton convinces the other... Peacekeepers that it is a good idea to have the prisoners out and actually searching for them.
Yeah, diffusing an otherwise tense situation because they bump into each other.
It starts with a shootout in the corridors, which I thought interesting as well, because apparently randomly shooting Moya's corridors does not cause her any pain anymore, or at least no distress. And normally whenever somebody shoots inside Moya hits the walls and like, how dare you do damage to Moya without telling me, blah, 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 blah.
How dare you cut into Moya without warning?
But that was with the prism laser saw. I remember the scene that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's that was Exodus from Genesis, the last time that a Marauder arrived. How dare you cut into Moya without warning?
Yeah.
Maybe these little blasters, maybe these pulse pistols don't really do that much damage. Like they explode a little bit, but I mean, it might be. Who knows? It might even be pleasant. It might be like having your back scratched.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Dargo uses his keyblade a few more times.
Yeah, mostly waving.
Yeah.
Crichton shows some cojones and strides forward in his fantastic captain's uniform.
Yes.
Placing himself between all the guns.
Which is must have been quite interesting from Lorac's perspective, because he just sees this Sebastian Peacekeeper captain walking straight out into the corridor in front of an armed Luxon.
With mivonks of steel.
Exactly.
You can see him being impressed.
Completely going like, wow. It's like, I wouldn't have done that. But of course, Crichton knows Dargo isn't going to shoot him.
No, but now he's got a bunch of guns pointed at his back.
Well, yes.
He's.
I guess he's still trusting the fact that he's a commander and
his little eye roll
that the guy isn't going to shoot him.
This is taken care of. You now have a détente. The crew splits up in search of Rygel, whom they believe is infected.
Yes.
Not realizing that the danger is among them.
Yes. Crichton ends up teamed up with Chiana.
Yeah.
Who is, of course, doing her I'm just going to stay behind and wander up behind you.
Yeah, she's being really... Oh, and she had the sort of eye shine. Did you see that?
Yes, the green eyes.
Sort of cat's eyes like Rachel in Blade Runner.
Yeah, when they're reflecting a beam of light, yes.
Back in the center chamber, which is what they call the galley.
Right.
Lorac and Aaron have found a very, very frightened, cowering Rygel who's hidden in one of the access shafts and apparently cannot escape from it.
No, he might have cornered himself there or something.
And they're sort of poking their heads in, just trying to get a good shot on Rygel.
Stay away from me! I'm not coming out of here until you tell me what the yucks is going on!
Well, he is trapped, but you don't have a very clear shot.
While he's fearfully telling them, okay, you don't understand, I'm innocent. Khajiit is innocent of this crime.
Yes. Nobody's buying any of it because it's Rygel, of course.
But he's talking for a long time and he sort of fades out into the background and we follow Chiana, who's approaching John.
Yes, does her little thumb lick thingy and apparently takes him over. And I love the change that you see in John when that happens. And he immediately puts on this swagger and he becomes even...
Yeah.
He turns the Peacekeeper commander attitude up to 11.
And also, he becomes a little sexier. He rubs his lips. He's a little more casual in his humor. I think Lorac is even more impressed by him now, and maybe a little bit competitively intimidated.
He seems to be, yes,
because he's so confident, Crichton.
All of a sudden, yes. I noticed also that Pilot was very diligent in referring to John as Captain.
As you wish, Captain.
yes, Captain.
Yes, Captain.
Which later in the episodes turns completely snarky and sarcastic.
Yes.
he does. And he goes Captain.
The Captain is accelerating our approach.
It's like Jeeves and Wooster. Yes, sir. Sir has never been said with more vicious mockery and disdain than by Jeeves.
Certainly, sir.
Certainly, sir. Poor little Rygel.
He gets shot with a stun pistol.
Placed in the box.
Which I thought was rather convenient that it was Rygel who got done, because that box wouldn't have held any of the others.
Maybe.
It's a small people box.
It's bigger. The drawer only slides out part way, so maybe it can slide out all the way and could fit an anthropoid.
But it has the inner box as well, and that's definitely smaller than the outer box. So I would say no, but everything seems to be back in order. Rygel is safely locked up, so the virus is now contained.
Much to Rygel's misfortune, because as the commandos are zipping up the body bags and stashing him in the cryo bay, they say, okay, he doesn't know it, but he's already spoken his last words.
Yes,
because their next job is to take him to the science base and the extraction process.
It's not a pretty process.
We don't know what or how, but yeah.
It's not going to turn out well for poor little Rygel.
Meanwhile, What's-Her-Face is doing research into Zaan's chemistry set.
This is quite a collection of herbs and spices.
Yeah, the apothecary, as it's been called,
named. Yes,
and she's very impressed by all of these herbs and spices. Crichton feigns I don't know who uses that. This was here when I got here.
Well, which is technically true, I suppose. I mean, he knows who uses it, but it was there when he got there.
Which is, no. When he got there, they had just barely escaped from imprisonment. She hadn't had time to buy and set up chemistry set.
Well, I mean, she was adding to it, but I got the impression she already had part of it. I mean, she was like, whenever they're on a commerce planet, she was clearly trying to like improve her selection.
Well, that's interesting, because that would suggest that she already had the run of the ship while she was still a prisoner.
Or maybe it was just her stuff, which had been like in lockup, which she'd taken out.
Yeah, that'll be it.
That makes sense.
Because they're pretending. I mean, their cover story, John and Aaron, is that they're a new technology test flight.
Yes, so that's to be able to control Leviathans without a control collar.
Yep,
and basically some neural control on Pilot, and since Pilot controls Moya, by having neural control on Pilot, they control Moya as well.
Which I think they probably pieced that together. But like, it's a bull dren, obviously,
right?
But they got that from the Nibari.
I guess.
The Nibari have they saw the neural collar on Chiana and decided to include that in their deception.
Yes, but of course Larak says like, yeah, I heard about that, and it's like I'm not sure if he's just like trying to not admit to his ignorance or that he has actually heard about that. But apparently it never got to work. But it's been going off without a hitch. For us, this has been a perfect test flight.
Until you arrived.
Yes.
Not so lucky is Hassan, though, because Crichton up and kills her.
Yep. I guess he's just playing Among Us at this point and trying to kill as many people as he can.
Yeah, he is acting very sus when he smashes the stasis gun. Yeah, things are going very, very badly indeed. The situation is worse than ever.
Right.
Because the virus is now in control. Aaron and Larak come to the command, finding out that under Crichton's command, Moya is actually accelerating toward the Gamak base.
Yes.
And she sort of side mouths to him, Crichton, what are you doing? And she says, I'm
doing the obvious thing.
Keeping up the act. Now get that information from Larak. And she tries.
Larak, about the Gamak base where...
You must be a very patient man.
And he immediately interrupts her, and he's just like, he's snidely teasing Larak.
I'm a good tracker.
Oh, I'd say a great tracker.
Who has been hunting him? I mean, he is the virus in this case for a year. So, like, was it just me, or was this a very sexy scene?
Oh,
this kind of anger, sort of.
Oh, I kind of missed it, but it could have been. I wasn't looking for it.
Look at Crichton looking at Larak, stepping up behind him, licking his lips all the time.
Right, which immediately makes you think that he's going to try and do a transfer again.
I mean, if he does it the way the Thorn did it, I'd like to see that.
Ooh, yes. Meanwhile, we learn what the beautiful golden bed sheets are made out of. Apparently, they're made out of litmus paper.
Yes,
because licking them like turns them red or so, and showing that they have increased body acidity, which apparently is an after effect of having been infected with the virus.
Yes, exactly. Oh, Zan, even when she's locked up in prison, she can still do chemistry.
She is still doing. Yeah,
she's basically MacGyver.
Yes, she is. Yeah, no, better looking than MacGyver, but.
Oh, that's
well.
Richard Dean Anderson is a fine-looking man.
True, he had the mullet though, man.
those were the times. Yes, but this is how they're able to determine that Chiana was previously infected and is now no longer. She's even she accuses Zan just as she accused Rygel earlier of being a pervo.
You want to be a pervo? You got to practice subtle.
Yeah.
Is everyone in the ship kinkoid?
I would think so. Yes.
I mean. Yes, but that's not the point, Chiana.
Yeah. And it's like she suspects everyone else to be the way she is, so, that makes sense.
Speaking of suspecting everyone else, we soon find ourselves on the bridge. I can't remember exactly how we got here, but everyone's on the command now,
yes.
And everyone's pointing guns at everyone else because they've all realized...
Basically, a scuffle breaks out. There's a little bit of fighting amongst each other.
Oh, yeah, that's it. They tried to subdue Crichton, and then they realized, we all touched it.
Yeah, now we don't know who has the virus. Doesn't last long, actually, because quickly enough... with the information that Chiana has now, it's like you can't be reinfected. And I know that I've had it. And they go like, okay, we know that you've had it. We know that you've had it. Like everybody who hasn't had it, stand on this side.
And point guns at each other.
And everybody who hasn't had it, go stand there. Of course, at first, all the haven't had it have all the guns.
Yes. It's a bit like in Eric the Viking when they're trying to. Okay, but now all the heavy people are on the right side of the boat, and it's going to be unbalanced. Okay, now
all
you
the beards are.
The moustaches are on the other. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
So Crichton gets Pip over to his side. Now Lorak at this point is noticing that these prisoners are calling him John. What's this John Dren? Off topic. We'll deal with it later.
That topic is off at the moment, Captain.
Yep.
You're also... I don't even know if he talks differently. If he noticed that he's talking differently. Because
I wasn't paying attention to that, so
John has dropped the accent at this point.
Whoa, what do you mean the virus was in me?
Yes.
And he's back to his beautiful mellifluous Tennessean.
Right. Zahn is full on chemistry setting. She apparently has some way to... it's not exactly an antibody, but at least it'll give some strong actions with anybody who is infected.
Yes, an antibody. Zan said that she could make one.
Yes, what she's putting together is something that increases the
alkalinity.
Thank you. I was looking for like basidity.
Alkalinity, yeah.
Alkalinity, yeah. To make it unsuitable as to make the host less receptive to the virus. Now this. I thought this was a bit of a, like, what if she was the virus? Then what would she be doing right now?
Yes.
I mean, everybody's suspicious but
she demonstrates this immediately by using the test on herself. And it's kind of cute because, like, she's holding an auto pipette.
Yes.
Which is not an injector.
No.
But, you know.
It's an extractor.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fellow scaper on the internet who very proudly showed off that they have one of these pipettes. It was actual from a prop from the show, not screen used. It wasn't painted yet. It was one of the backups, one of their proudest possessions. But yeah, like if it had been Zahn, if Zahn had been infected, wouldn't she have been able to concoct something that the virus could survive, but a regular person, an uninfected person, couldn't?
But she literally says, "You saw that." Everybody saw what I put into it. She's like, you were standing here when I mixed it up together. It's like, no trickery. I just like...
I know, but fat load of good, that would have done me. Yeah, I saw you put this and that. I have no idea what any of those components are. In fact, the only person who would stand a chance of knowing that was Hassan, and she's already been killed.
Yes. So she injects herself, which apparently exonerates her.
She goes over to the other side.
Aaron immediately volunteers to go next, gets herself shot up as well. And
Bruce Willis
goes as well. I'll be next, which leaves Dargo and Lorak.
Bruce Willis immediately, therefore, assumes that it must be the Luxon.
It's a Luxon!
It's him.
Put that gun down right now! Do it now! Put that weapon down right now!
Put your weapon down!
Shoot him now! What are you waiting for?
I am telling you to drop your weapon!
All right, do it! Come on, just do it.
Right.
Bit of a racial prejudice there.
Well, he's also the one who is infected, so it's the virus who's finally learning that.
Wait, Darko?
No, Lorak has the virus at this
point.
point.
Yes. So
exactly. The virus knows that it is the one that is being infected. So the best thing to do at this point is like cast doubt on the other people.
Yes, so for as long as possible, because it needs to ride out this 1 hour until it can explode into spores and infect everyone.
Which apparently is also not a very good way to go. Well, of course, at this point, most people have already had it and are not infectious anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just thinking. I know that we're still talking about this episode, but I'm thinking, like, what would I do if I was the virus? Yeah. Where would I want to be? Pilot.
Yeah,
and then Moya.
Yeah.
Moya seems like a great host.
Yeah.
If you're an intelligent virus,
I would suppose so.
You can fly wherever you want. You can just blast off into particles. You can land.
Right. Maybe she's not susceptible.
I guess not. Maybe biomechanoids aren't.
No, I mean pilots obviously would be.
Exactly. Like if it could be Rygel, who's an aquatic, then
then of course it would be disastrous for Moya, I suppose, if like a pilot gets blown apart by virus spore spreading. That
doesn't bear thinking about.
That would be very unfortunate. But yes, a bit of a shootout.
It's a very shooty episode. It was a rooty-tooty shooty episode.
Torak gets it in the crossfire, I believe.
Wait, what?
No, not Torak. What's his name?
Torak. Which
Bruce
one?
Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Thorn with two R's because
Thorn.
it's a space name.
Thorn, yes. He gets it in the firefight, and Lorak holds Aaron captive.
Lorak?
Not exactly. But this shell of his is going to get me onto that Peacekeeper base.
Yeah, he pulls out his space machete, his huge space
Blunt
machete.
space machete.
It's awful, and he's holding her prisoner, threatening to harm her to keep Dargo and John at bay, the last survivors, because, Thorn bought it already.
And then he just stabs her anyway.
Yeah.
Without any apparent cause or anything, he stabs her anyway.
I guess to slow them down. Like at this point, initially I thought it was strange that Dargo stayed with Aaron and sent John off, but he immediately explains, like, you've been infected, you can't be reinfected.
Right.
You go and...
Yeah.
The virus can't reinfect you. Go! Go!
We've seen Dargo, like, handing out orders last time.
I'll check command. You look after pilot, and you do damage assessment.
Through the looking glass and then immediately vanishing into thin air. So that's not a great command role, but he's actually really good at prioritizing tasks under pressure.
I mean, Lux and Warrior and all that. I suppose it makes sense that they know how to do those things.
John is too late. Larac is already back on the Marauder and escaping, but he asks Pilot.
Pilot, is that ship still leaking cesium fuel?
Yes.
Then let him go.
All right, we need to flip around, nose to tail, start
Prepare for
starbursting.
Starburst. And it's like, we can't do Starburst. It's like, you don't have to do full Starburst. Just like do the beginning.
And it's like lighting the fuse on an oil slick trail.
It looks gorgeous. You have this comet trail that the ship is trailing behind, and you can see it burning. I thought that was beautiful.
Oh, it was fantastic! Like the fuse going up to the ship, and Crichton like gazes out at it. Like he actually made a point of getting to the window and looking out and yells, "Boom!"
Yeah, that was fantastic. I love that set.
Oh, do you know, this is the first time that he straight up murdered someone.
I guess so.
Look, I told you, we are not killers.
Yeah, I suppose so. He's not a soldier. So this was like definitely where he's like at least given the orders to fire.
Given the orders to fire. I mean, okay, so he threw a bomb at Durka's ship, but that was like mostly to disable it. And,
yes.
He didn't relish it. And this time...
He really hates this guy at this point. Plus, he has the virus on him, and the virus needs to be destroyed.
And he hurt Aaron.
Or
possibly killed Aaron, as far as John knows at this point. Looking at his face, that's what I think is in his heart in that moment. Like, he hates Larac. He's not even thinking...
Yeah.
The virus isn't in the forefront of his mind. This guy has to die, and I want him to hurt.
Yeah. And it's a nice explosion.
Fantastic job by Paul Butterworth and Garner McClellan, who did the CGI on the first season. It's fantastic.
And then it's back to aftercare. Basically, Rygel's been pulled out of the coffin, the stasis thing.
Yeah, I was going to say freezer, but that's not the case at all.
No,
he calls it this
a hot box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I'll ever recover from that infernal inferno contraption, huh? There aren't enough cold towels in the universe for a start.
Down and Zahn is being all doting on him and helping him get comfortable again.
Yeah.
Dargo reaffirms the fact that he will never again be chained up.
Yes, there was an interesting bit of dialogue there between him and Zahn. Because yes, he says, "I'll never be chained up again," and she says, "Yeah, I pray that'll be the case."
I pray that will be the case.
You can pray all you like. I was expressing a fact. Not a hope.
And they talk a little bit more about how they're going to handle this next time. And then Dargo says,
I pray there will never be a next time.
I pray there won't be a next time.
Yes. That was very well put, I suppose.
Yeah, because he's got this bluster and confirmation, but he's also terrified.
Yes. Crichton goes to see Erin, who is recovered. Apparently it was touch and go for a few moments, but she has survived, and because not everybody keeps their heart in the same place, I guess.
Yeah.
Which another Peacekeeper would have known about, I suppose, but maybe he was just like stabbing to wound, or don't know.
The knife missed her heart.
Yes.
So lucky her, I guess.
And they have a bit of a touching moment where they like, I'd say like there's a little bit of eyes at each other again at this point, even though she'd been like clearly somewhat smitten by Larac.
Yes, it's a complicated sort of set of emotions that they're feeling here, because they're not smiling, flirting at each other. Like even the closing word was Aaron thanking John, and John saying, "Don't mention it."
Yeah.
What are you doing in here anyway?
Oh, I just wanted to Be there.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Why would I ever mention it?
Why would I ever mention it?
Yes.
And that's actually kind of cold.
Yeah, I suppose, yes.
Because, like, I think she did see something in Larac
yes.
that Crichton doesn't have. Like,
I mean, and Larac was going full courtship on her, apparently, because, like, that's what you do as a peacekeeper. When you've got the hots for someone, you ask them to change departments towards yours.
Oh, wow, yes. Oh, it was the 90s, and they were different times. Yes, no, that's actually really troubling now that you put it that way. Wow.
I mean, that's the impression I got from it, at least.
I did sort of like that when earlier on Larac was trying to convince. He said to Aaron, "I've seen you in action. You're being wasted here."
You know, this may sound funny, but you ever think about going special ops?
Me?
I've seen you in action. What are you doing in New Star Regiment, huh? You're being wasted there. You're wasting yourself there. Plus, I like the idea of having you nearby.
He literally offered to help her transfer towards the commandos or whatever it is, the special forces.
Well, he asked for an opportunity to try and convince her, which I thought was quite a respectful way to.
That is true.
You know, if we make it to the Gammak base and we have some time to talk, maybe we can sit down and
see if we can get you transferred.
Yeah.
It was a very exciting episode. I would say that for sure.
We're back to the sort of melancholy come down
a little
at the
bit,
end.
Yes. They've done the positive ones a few episodes, and now they're back down to a slightly more down tempo, down emotion one.
And I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. So he's come quite a long way, our John Crichton.
Yes.
Like he's actually impersonating the enemy. I think by this time he's spent enough time among various peacekeepers
to get an idea of how they act and how they interact with each other. Yeah.
Once again, this was a Crichton plan.
I got a plan.
You got a plan?
I got a plan.
So much for that plan.
But I got a plan.
He came up with a cunning plan, how to turn this to advantage. Once again, total failure.
I wouldn't say that.
Absolute disaster.
I wouldn't say that. It was like the plan was sound. It was just like, meddling teenagers who got the virus out.
But this is like,
I mean, that was like nothing wrong with the plan in that regard. I mean,
but no plan survives contact with reality.
No, true.
And a plan that assumes, and then if everything goes right, we'll come out on top. Is kind of a bad plan, considering their track record.
True.
They kind of need plans, and then if everything goes wrong, then we'll come out on top. Okay, now you're talking. That's the kind of plan that will work on.
Fair enough. So, Willy or Woody?
She gives me a Woody.
She gives you the Willies.
Let me see. My Woody definitely goes to the outfits. Like, I'm sorry. No, Larac definitely is a very attractive man, but God, there's those leather flight suits. They all looked so cool. The jacket slightly unzipped. Like that is very much my look.
All very cheap plastic buckles, though. Those little pinch buckles that you see.
No, that is fair to say. Like they've got quality leather, but they've got the big cheap plastic buckles that they never seem to close.
Sometimes, I mean, it opens with that with Erin closing
yes,
them.
that's
but
right.
That's when I noticed, like, I've got those buckles on my bag. There's
like
there's
sort
like
of standard issue
backpack
PK
buckles.
Not very comfortable.
It depends on what's underneath. And your Willy?
Oh, my Willy. Let me see. Okay, so gosh, it's actually hard to think about the context because everyone did a really good job. All the characters got stuff to do. Zan is once again being relegated. No, I was going to say she was relegated to the sort of explaining everyone's emotions to the audience role that she had early on.
But she's also the glue that holds everything together, really.
And she got to do a lot of science again.
Yes.
Like the squeakiest part is maybe the little alien creature, but even that was kind of cool with the lights inside.
Yeah, that was a good one. So my Willy would go to the scene where infected Crichton just bashes in the
Hassan,
Hassan, which actually was I thought had a very strong parallel to when our mad military commander does almost the same thing after he
to another one peacekeeper, Lieutenant T.
Yes,
and no one outside this chamber knows of the Admiral's orders.
I saw to that, sir.
sidling up beside her, casual conversation.
Are you the only one who knows about this? Yes. Okay, thank you. Boom, dead.
It took Crichton a lot more effort. Like, he actually had to lift one of these implements and went bang, bang, Maxwell silver hammer on her.
Yes, but...
Apparently he doesn't know that Peacekeeper spines are made of paper and you can sort of twist them by the chin. No,
I guess. And my Woody was definitely boom.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? That's actually going to get my willy.
Oh, the way Crichton is
because
like,
it's like okay, so
that,
it's Hollywood cool.
True,
but Crichton, would he have? I mean, when he stepped off of Farscape 1, would he have effing murdered someone?
No, probably
even
not.
in these circumstances, even knowing it's a virus.
Well,
would he have hoped to try and save this person? But no, here Crichton hated whoever was on there. Like this, it was Aaron's murderer. It was a romantic rival.
Very much so.
It was a peacekeeper,
and it was a virus.
Infected with the virus. All four of those together.
Plenty of reasons to put an end to him, which he did in a very spectacular fashion.
It was very and he didn't blink in the explosion.
But he did look at it.
Yeah, so he's not a cool guy.
No.
Because cool guys don't look at explosions.
So one thing I also noticed, and this maybe touching on the Life on Moya segment a little bit we have.
Yeah.
It's like apparently the center chamber. I don't think they've used that word before.
No, I think you're right, because we called it the mess and the galley.
I'll be in the galley with the food.
But now it's been explicitly referred to as the center chamber, which is where they do their cooking and eating.
Yes, that makes sense. Central living quarters, social. I mean, eating is usually a social activity among humanoids. So.
It's one of the rare universals.
Yeah, so that seems to be good. So now it has a name. We know it's called the center chamber.
Yes, and now they actually know how to work these microwaves so that the food cubes turn out to actually be food.
Actually tasty food, yes. So what are we going to call this episode?
Oh, the naming of the episode?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, well, I was sort of hinting at red leather, yellow leather, which is a vocal exercise, but that's not quite there yet.
I've got two candidates for a name.
Ooh.
One is Sebastian Standoff.
Guns and a lot of hands pointed in every direction.
So, okay. No, I dig that. Sort of like Mexican standoff. Right. That's exactly what they've got when they're on the command. Very good.
And the other one would be Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Dargo.
Yeah, that's the one.
Eeny, Meeny, Miny.
Dargo!
Okay, you are so good at these. I don't know why I even bother anymore. That's fantastic. So, yes, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Dargo. No. And that's the story so Farscape.
We'll see you next week with episode...
Whoa. Hold on.
Right.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this is normally where we talk about next week's episode, which you probably expect to be episode 119, Nerve, but I have something rather special for you. Now, one of the great experiences that bonded early Farscape fans together while we were watching the show was the incredible frustration of its irregular programming schedule. And I want to share that with you. So, when this first aired, this was the 18th episode of the first season, four episodes to go, and we had to wait 4 months before we got the... Yeah.
It's a bit like the mid-season breaks they started doing on Battlestar Galactica, the reimagination.
Yes. They did a lot of these. Sometimes you'd wait for weeks. On the flip side, sometimes there would only be a few weeks between the end of a season and the start of the next one. So that was something.
Yeah.
And so I want to propose... Yes, this is what I'm going to call it. The greatest hiatus.
The greatest hiatus. Okay.
So instead of going straight on to episode 19, let's take next week to do something else. So just take a little step back, let it percolate, and we'll have a little surprise to see what we're going to do next week. And then the week after that, we'll come back and continue Nerve. Because we're obviously not going to spend 4 months doing nothing.
No, that sounds like a very bad plan. So you can find us at SoFarscape on Twitter and Facebook.
Yes. Okay, this is reversing.
I know.
One of us seems to have absorbed the others.
That's great. And of course on SoFarscape.com. And
I'm Kay.
And I'm Kaki. No, wait.
Farscape's so good.